Hey, what's up, film fans? I found another movie that I'd never heard of before, and I was intrigued when I saw it listed on Prime Video. And when I saw the poster of it, it had two actors that I'm very familiar with. And I saw that it looked like a medieval sword movie. And I'm a huge fan of any movie with knights and swords, as I studied fencing and swords while in college. The movie is Last Knights, starring Clive Owen and Morgan Freeman. I took a chance since the last movie I watched with Morgan Freeman that I'd never heard of before didn't turn out to be so great, but I figured I would give this one a chance. Before I get into the review, if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to the show so you can stay up to date on the review. From what I've read in various places, it is an adaptation of 47 Ronin with Keanu Reeves. And having never seen 47 Ronin, I went in unprejudiced by the film. Both films are based on a real team of samurai. In the film, Freeman plays Lord Bartok, an esteemed nobleman and head of the Bartok family who is called before Giza Mat, a minister to the emperor, and he's expected to bring a gift to Giza as a tribute. As he prepares to go, he prepares his men for the journey, led by Captain Raiden. Bartok tells him he will not be forced to give a bribe to appease Giza and gives a simple robe instead. After Giza receives his gift, he confronts Bartok privately and begins attacking him until Bartok grabs his sword and puts it to Giza's throat. And then a servant yells out, and Raiden and Giza's general come in time, and swords are drawn. Bartok is then taken before the emperor for attacking Giza, and he has to explain his actions. But he accepts the blame for the attack, and Giza talks the emperor into having Bartok beheaded by the sword of his own general Raiden. And he also wants Bartok's people to be evicted from the property. Raiden steps forward to fight for his master, but Bartok commands him to stop and carry out the sentence. And once this is complete, all of Bartok's people are evicted from their homes and their houses are set on fire. Raiden falls back into old habits, turning to drink and self-loathing. Giza Mat, worried that Raiden will seek revenge on him, has his general keep an eye on him and actually secretly provoking him into action against them so they can put him to death legally. The story leads into the apparent fall of the once great warrior as his former army, the 7th rank, planned to go against Giza, who is now ranked as first consul to the emperor. Just as Giza Mat is finally convinced by his general that Raiden has forsaken any form of honor in anger, Raiden rises up to lead his men into battle. The fight scenes are few, but the lack of number are made up for by the moves and the blood and the exciting style. There are two big battles in the movie, one taking place at the beginning and one taking place at the end. And they stand up to many of the battle scenes we've seen in bigger movies. Morgan Freeman is, as always, the clear voice and the wise elder character as he counsels his general about using reason, about why he will not give in to the corruption of the Empire. Clive Owen gives a strong performance as Raiden as we see the leadership of his men to his apparent fall into self-loathing back into the great commander. Giza Mat, played by Enske Henny, is the easy-to-hate, conniving little rat of a villain. When we see Bartok taken before the emperor, he pretty much calls out Giza as a crybaby that went to daddy to snitch. Giza's general is played by Shayushi Ihara, and I know I just ruined that, but anyway, he is a man who follows from honor more than loyalty, and that his code of honor is very, very strong. Minor characters in the story help establish the story of who each of our characters are on a different level, as we see the relationship and who they are outside of the main parts of the story. There are several memorable lines from the movie that stood out to me. When Raiden tells his men that honor is something that men are born with and cannot be given or taken away, this is mirrored later when it seems that Raiden has forsaken his honor, but we find that it is still intact as the facade is pulled away. Also, Bartok tells Raiden that the wounds of honor are self-inflicted. which is probably the most significant line in the movie, as he is telling Raiden that our code of honor means doing things that we normally wouldn't do for the sake of our honor. The movie to me was really good and kept my attention throughout. Some people have commented about how little action scenes there were, but the way they told the story, we didn't need much more, because in the void of the action, they built the story and the character builds that drove the story to the final battle. To protect his men at the end, he agrees to sacrifice himself to the Emperor so his men can go free. But the end of the movie gets a little bit hazy as we go between Raiden returning to his wife and going before his Emperor. If you like movies about knights and swords and chivalry, definitely find this movie and give it a try. The story, the characters, and the journey through the movie make for a great story. And even if it is a remake of another movie, the movie delivers on a great story. Especially if you're a fan of stories like King Arthur, Robin Hood, or even Gladiator. Do give this a chance. Thanks for joining me, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the show, hit the like button, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you'll know when the next review is posted. And if you have a suggestion for the film, leave it in the comments as I will add it to the list as I want to know what you want to watch. And if you've seen the film, let us know in the comments as well. And as always, take care of yourselves, be good to the ones you love, and I'll catch you later.